Alright people, welcome. We've got a double break. Well, sort of a double break. It's the same size as our usual ones that we've been doing, with the addition of an extra priority box. So we have two half cases and a priority box each for them, and that's break 183 and break 184. Our team list for 183, we have Broncos Andrew Krager, Raiders Andrew Krager, Bulldogs Adam Barber, Sharks Chris Duggan, Titans Jackson Schumi, Manly Shane Murtagh, Storm Darryl Woodford, Knights Neil Spicer, Cowboys Matthew Darley, Eels Shane Murtagh, Panthers Michael Newis, Rabbitohs Matthew Wellington, Dragons Mark Whiting, Roosters Andrew Krager, Warriors Keza Zanoni, Kieran Zanoni, Tigers Jason Mandrill. Yeah, so let me just flick that over. There we go. Now I can see the chat. So we do still have a sealed box. Would have been a Tarek Sims case card if we were doing a case break. Not today. Alright. So that is our first five cases, our first five boxes out of the case, plus our priority box. There we are. We'll chuck priority box there for now, grab our first box and let's go. I'm estimating about an hour. I think it might be a little bit quicker. We have 6 boxes and then I just need to switch over the trays and we'll be right to go for the second one. So about an hour, we'll see how we go. If that's right, that's break 184 at 5 o'clock. Jess Surgis, Speed Series for the Roosters. We've got 6 boxes and we will razz any Master Series cards. So we'll have the 5 and possibly a signature. Yellow Diamond, Emily Bass for the Broncos, number 30. Let me get the sleeves open. There we go. Number 30 for the Broncos. Shante Poco, Women's NRL for the Knights. Rabbitohs Parallel Checklist. Master Series for the Blues. Justin Olam Parallel for the Storm. Ruben Cotter, Indigenous All-Stars. Josh Curran, Parallel for the Warriors. If you are just tuning in, we have it listed break 186, which is on the website. It's another half case and priority box. Pick your team. Will Kennedy, Speed Series for the Sharks. Malami Kickout, Parallel for the Panthers. But we still have, well, when I checked about half an hour ago, we still had 2 spots in break 182, which was the Warriors and the Tigers. Plus, we are razzing the Titans spot in the Facebook group. Emily Curtin, White Young Guns for the Eels. Speed Series, Waka Blake for the Eels. Georgia Hale, Women's NRL for the Titans. Regan Campbell-Gillard, parallel for the Eels. Kevin Proctor, Mary All-Stars. Milwaukee Fodawaka, parallel for the Titans. Speed Series, Rocco Berry for the Warriors. Black Young Gun, number 8. I'm not sure of this young guy's number. Elam Lukey for the Cowboys. Matthew Daly. I don't recognise the name. I believe it's a new breakee with us. White Young Guns, Keezy Apps for the Dragons. Speed Series, Oliver Gildart for the Tigers. Josh Jackson, parallel for the Bulldogs. Just a heads up, there's not many of you watching right now, but there may be a few. Congratulations, mate. Joe's Tavega, Mary All-Stars. But we have tried, and I think basically most things numbered have been listed. Josh Kerr, parallel for the Dragons that we have. We are looking. Pardon? Yeah, still plenty more to bust. So if it's not in stock, put it in your wish list. Ruben Garrick, parallel for Manly. I know there's Black Young Guns sitting on the table. I'm not sure how they are in stock on the website. Milwaukee Fodawaka, Ruby Mojo, number 6 for the Titans. Dally M, Tommy Turbo for Manly, Dane Laurie, parallel for the Tigers. Jamie Chapman, Indigenous All-Stars, Renato Molitalo, parallel for the Sharks. Women's NRL Broncos checklist. Isaiah Papali'i, Dally M for the Eels. Kevin Nakama, parallel for the Roosters. Selwyn Cobbo, Speed Series for the Broncos. And that is the end of box 1. Straight into box 2. Women's NRL, Keely Davis for the Dragons, Jake Clifford, parallel for the Knights. Alarm and kick out, Dalian for Panthers. Speed Series, Jess Surgis for the Roosters. Patrick Carrigan, parallel for the Broncos. Blues Master Series. LEM, Justin Olam for the Storm. Tipping, guys, don't forget to get your tips in. I'm not sure how it's going to work with the last 2 weeks, if they'll combine them or whatnot, so keep an eye out. Reese Robson, Ruby Mojo for the Cowboys, number 39. Another decent all-numbered hit for Matthew Daly anyway. In these half cases, if you get double hits, you're doing well. Waka Blake, Speed Series for the Eels. Big Tino, parallel for the Titans. Jack Bird, parallel for the Dragons. Tiana Penatani, Women's NRL for the Eels. Raiders, still no cards in the slot halfway through the second box. Tamika Upton, Indigenous All-Stars. I'm sure she's drunk. Kyle Felt, parallel for the Cowboys. See, I was doing so well with the All-Stars, and during a break a week, I've gotten a bit slack remembering their clubs. Isaiah Papali'i, parallel for the Raiders. I'm in break next, my first group break I've entered. So you'll see me put most of them straight into the tray. The ones that I can't remember their club off the top of my head, even if I think I know it, I put here so I can double check them at the end of the break and make sure they go in the correct club. Dragons, Rachel Pearson, Yellow Diamond Mojo, number 59. The only thing that doesn't get assigned to clubs are the Master Series cards. If we're lucky enough to get a signature, the signature and the cards are all randomised as one lot between all 16 people. Caitlin Johnston, Indigenous All-Stars. Jason Saab, parallel for Manly. Oh, my wife can still reach it if it's over there. Thank you. Speed Series, Will Kennedy for the Sharks. Women's NRL Titans Checklist, Daniel Tupou, parallel for the Roosters. Jocelyn Keller, Women's NRL for the Roosters. Jesse Ramian, parallel for the Sharks. James Fisher-Harris, Mary All-Stars. Tommy Turbo, Speed Series for Manly. Cameron Murray, parallel for the Rabbits. So we're down to 6 packets in our second box of break 183. White Young Guns, a Bridie Parker for the Roosters. Second Black Young Gun, 2 boxes, 2 Black Young Guns. Number 64 for the Broncos, Emily Bass. Mr. Andrew Krager. I assume most people would have started seeing the patches and booklets come back. Some we're looking at the Addo ones, especially the other day, with the Indigenous patterns on them. Most of them come out pretty good. Bobby Law, Speed Series for the Knights. So yeah. Oliver Gilder, Speed Series for the Tigers. Storm Parallel Checklist. Chanel Harris Tavita, Maori All Stars. Eliza Katoa, Parallel for the Warriors. And last but not least, for box number 2. Hey. Number 17. Panthers Sapphire Checklist for Michael Newis. I'm sure it was Michael. I seen comment that he had a bad run with the breaks and this was going to be one of his last ones. So I'm glad we can help. I know it's only a sapphire, but it is a sapphire. Alright, box number 3. Dylan Walker, Mary All Stars, Adam Fanor Blake, Parallel for the Warriors. Trying to fix that glare a little bit. Bradman Best, Parallel for the Knights. Ruby Mojo, second one for the Panthers, James Fisher Harris, number 15. Second Mojo, I should say. Taryn Aiken, Women's NRL for the Broncos. Dally M, Ruben Garrick for Manly. Tony Staggs, Parallel for the Broncos. Speed Series, Shaylee Bent for the Dragons. Three for 3. Black Young Guns, Rakea Horn. Number 79 for the Eagles. 3 boxes, 3 black young guns. Number 78. I think it is. Yeah. No, 79. Sorry, 79. My bad. Fittler Master Series for the Kangaroos. Oops. So we did, and parallel for the Cowboys. Women's NRL, Emma Tony Gatto for the Dragons. Zayo Dalian for Panthers. Aaron Clark, parallel for the Titans. Yasmin Meeks, Speed Series for the Roosters. Dragons parallel checklist. And we are halfway through box number 3 with this one. Josh Curran, Indigenous All-Stars. Sapphire Mojo, number 5. Mr. Cody Ramsey for the Dragons. Mark Whiting. Albert Kelly, Indigenous All-Stars. Gally Cherry Evans, parallel for Manly. Chataya Fafua, Speed Series for the Titans. Autumn Stevens, Women's NRL for the Knights. Victor Radley, parallel for the Roosters. White Young Guns, Trent LaRoe for the Storm. Destiny Brill, Women's NRL for the Titans. Nico Hines, parallel for the Sharks. Autumn Stevens, Mary All-Stars. Speed Series, Katoni Staggs for the Broncos. Cody Walker, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Well, definitely got to be happy with that in a half case. Number 4, nice low one. All-Star booklet, Mr. Josh Kerr for the Dragons. Jerome Hughes, parallel for the Storm. Bailey Simonson, Speed Series for the Eels. Hammerfitto, Speed Series for the Cowboys. Parallel, Elliot Whitehead for the Raiders. And that is the end of box number 3. So we have 2 more boxes plus the priority box. Let's go. On to box number 4. I was a bit concerned when we were starting. I had issues getting my camera to connect. I had one working, but the other one didn't want to work for me. It's alright, we got there in the end with no drama, no real drama. Hey! We got Matthew Wellington, number 2. Mr. Dry Arrow, Black Diamond. Roosters Master Series, Kenny Bromwich, parallel for the Storm. Braden Trindle, Indigenous All-Stars. Warriors Parallel Checklist. Shannon Mato, Mary All-Stars. Jessica Surgis, Women's NRL for the Roosters. Corey Thompson, parallel for the Titans. Rocco Berry, Speed Series for the Warriors. Crystal Rota, Women's NRL for the Knights. Isaiah Papali'i, parallel for the Eels. White Young Guns, Talator Amon for the Dragons. Speed Series, Karina Brown for the Titans, parallel Mikau Ravalawa for the Dragons. Patil Yvette Welsh, Mary All-Stars. There you go. Jake Trbojevic, parallel for Manly. Glad I could open it for you, mate. Especially being one of the last few that you need. Oh, yeah. We have an LST, number 16. Stephanie Hancock for the Titans, Mr. Jackson Shumi. Yeah, right. Number 4. Kangaroos Master Series signature. So that'll get randomized with the other Master Series cards at the end of this break. Josh Addo-Carr, Indigenous All-Stars. Ruby Mojo, Addo-Carr for the Bulldogs, number 35. Brian Totter, Speed Series for the Panthers, Bulldogs Parallel Checklist. Dally M, Sam Walker for the Roosters. Women's NRL, Ali Brigginshaw for the Broncos, Oliver Gildart parallel for the Tigers. Kennedy Sherrington, Women's NRL for the Eels. Nathan Cleary, Dally M for the Panthers. Jared Rare-Hargraves, parallel for the Roosters. 4 packets left in our 4th box. Blake Taff, Speed Series for the Rabbitohs. And then there was 3. Dale Finucane, parallel for the Sharks. Speed Series, Addo Carr for the Bulldogs. Damien Cook, parallel for the Rabbits. Selwyn Cobbo, Speed Series for the Broncos. James Fisher-Harris, parallel for the Panthers. And that was the end of box 4. Now we are down to box number 5 and the priority box are left to go. All right. Hannah Southwell, Women's NRL for the Roosters. Herbie Farmworth, parallel for the Broncos. Romy Tietzel, a Speed Series for the Knights. Panthers Master Series, David Nofaluma, parallel for the Tigers. Braden Trindle, Indigenous All-Stars. Brent Naden, parallel for the Bulldogs. Black League Sensations, number 58, Brian To'o for the Panthers. Tiana Penatani, a Speed Series for the Eels. Tallulah Tillett, Women's NRL for the Knights. Molly Olakau'atu, parallel for Manly. Shannon Mato, Maori All-Stars. Hamafito, parallel for the Cowboys. Tyrell Sloan, Speed Series for the Dragons. Betil Vet Welsh, Maori All-Stars. Raiders Parallel Checklist. Reid Marnie Parallel for the Eels. Women's NRL Eels Checklist. Dally M and James Tedesco for the Roosters. Liam Martin Parallel for the Panthers. Shanae Siasolka, Speed Series for the Broncos. Cody Nikarima Parallel for the Warriors. Millie Boyle, Women's NRL for the Broncos. Ruby Mojo, Herbie Farmworth for the Broncos, number 39. White Young Gun, Jaden Campbell for the Titans. Jacob Saifiti Parallel for the Knights. Dally M, Tommy Turbo for Manly. Harry Grant Parallel for Storm. Down to 4 packets left out of the 5th box to break 183. Addo Carr, Indigenous All-Stars. Greg Marciu, Speed Series for the Titans. And so far I must say it's been a pretty decent break, especially for a half case. James Tedesco, Speed Series for the Roosters. Sam Walker, Parallel for the Roosters. Oh, and to finish us off, last but not least, well, box number 5 out of the case, we have a Cowboys Emerald Checklist, number 9, to Matthew Daly. Alright. So, to finish off break 183, we have our priority box, and as well as we still have the randomisation at the end for the Kangaroos Master Series signature. So this is the last box of break 183, and it is the priority box. Speed Series, Betil Vet Welsh for the Eels. Tasman Gray, Women's NRL for the Titans. James Tedesco, Parallel for the Roosters. Kevin Proctor, Maori All-Stars. Jesse Ramian, Speed Series for the Sharks. Felice Kafusi, parallel for the Storm. Our first Dally M, number 63, Ronaldo Mulatalo for the Sharks. Mr. Chris Duggan. Blues Fittler. White League sensation for the Eels, Mr. Junior Paulo, number 34. Speed Series, Julia Robinson for the Broncos. For Vaughan, parallel for the Bulldogs. Women's NRL Dragons Checklist. Sean Johnson, parallel for the Warriors. Speed Series, Stafford Toa for the Tigers. Knights Parallel Checklist. Payne Haas, parallel for the Broncos. Dally M, Mr. Alex Johnston for the Rabbitohs, number 9. Ruby Mojo, Lachlan Croker for Manly, number 46. Jamie Chapman, Indigenous All-Stars. Jason Taumalolo, parallel for the Cowboys. Speed Series, Daniel Tupou for the Roosters. Women's NRL, Bobby Law for the Knights. Chance Nicole Klokstad, parallel for the Raiders. Ruben Cotter, Indigenous All-Stars. Cameron McInnes, parallel for the Sharks. Yellow Diamond, Tina Navidi for the Eels, number 16. And our white young gun for break 183, number 11, Miss Zara Canfield for the Titans. Mr. Jackson Shumi. Reece Walsh, Speed Series for the Warriors. Sean Lane, parallel for the Eels. Jazz Tavega, Mary All-Stars. Isaiah Yo, parallel for Panthers. 2 packets to go. Lauren Brown, women's NRL for the Broncos, and Jackson Hastings, parallel for the Tigers. Last packet, last but not least. Here we go. Oh, well, definitely not least. Got to be happy with that for a last packet pull. Number 7, Mr. Teddy for the Roosters, Emerald Mojo. Nice work. Alright, so we have one thing left to do for this break, and that is erase the Master Series cards. I will put these cards in here until I get a chance to come back and take your photos and sort them out. Right, let's change screens. There we go. So that should be, yep, that's this break 3 times. Person in spot 1 gets all Master Series cards, including the Kangaroos. Alright, Jackson Shumi with the Titans. Congratulations, mate. You might have Dad a bit jealous. I'm sure it's Dad. But yeah. Alright, well, we will reset this already for 184. There is our team list for 184. And just bear with me for a moment. Put that there. Have a drink and coffee. Alright. So our last 5 boxes as we left them. Hopefully we didn't pull all the good cards in 183. Got a bit tidying up to do once I've finished. That's alright. No big deal. Alright, last but not least, we need a tray. Which way do we go? That way. There we go. Whoops. And I think on that note, we should be ready to go. I'll just move that over there. So once again, we've got 5 boxes plus the priority box. It is the second half of the first break. We had some awesome hits, so hoping we didn't take too many. And our team list before we actually get started is Broncos, Lock Coast, Raiders, Craig Baxter, Bulldogs, Adam Barber, Sharks, Chris Duggan, Titans, Troy Douglas. Manly, Matthew Madden. Storm, Darren Woodford. Knights, Jeff Hughes. Cowboys, Joey Tagg. Eels, Shane Murtagh. Panthers, Tom Leathers. Rabbitohs, Matthew Wellington. Dragons, Warren Stoddart. Roosters, Brent Nichols. Warriors, Kieran Zanoni. And Tigers, Jason Mandrill. Sorry, I just had a bit of deja vu with a couple of them being the same from the first one. Making sure I got them right. So once again, this is break 184. First box off the break. Let's go. And good luck. One thing I haven't done is change that over. There we go. Give me my team list. Coming down for the grand final. Probably not too many kids. Corbin Baxter, Maori All-Stars. I would like to, like, God knows it's been so long since we were there. But yeah, Ewan Aiken, parallel for the Warriors. Maybe Dad might go. There you go, Jared. He said if you want to buy him tickets, he'll go. Xavier Coates, Speed Series for the Storm. Cheers, mate. Oh well, first box. Here we got Mr. Mandrill, White League Sensations, Luke Brooks, number 59. David Clemmer, parallel for the Knights. Dana Navidi, women's NRL for the Eels. Dally M, Nathan Cleary for the Panthers. Broncos parallel checklist. Matthew, I think it was number 2 off the top of my head, mate. I will take the pictures and everything once I'm finished. Tommy Turbo, Speed Series for Manly. Jada Ferguson, women's NRL for the Broncos. Isaac Liu, parallel for the Titans. Got very muggy all of a sudden. We have a Ruby Mojo checklist, number 12 for the Eels. Mr. Shane Murtagh. Kangaroos Master Series. Does anyone know if any of the Future cards have been hit? Yes, we know. I think it was Bromwich. Huh? Who was it? Huh? Who got out of the Storm?
I don't know. I didn't see.
I thought that was the one that Blunt opened.
Oh, it could have been. Yeah, Nicarima.
There you go, Nicarima. It was either one of the 2 Storm ones. Reece Robson, parallel for the Cowboys. It did come from our stock, and Blunt opened it for Ben Trim. Brent Naden, Indigenous All-Stars. Other than that, it's the only one I know of, I've heard about. Oh yeah, there you go. Dad said Clark as well. Sorry, I was still trying to figure out the Storm one when you were telling me that one. Hudson Young, parallel for the Raiders. Too much information at once. Sam Walker, Dalian for the Roosters. Which one's that, Matt? Murray Talagi, Speed Series for the Cowboys. Was that the Bromwich or the Nicarima? Romy Teetsel, Women's NRL for the Knights. Cameron McInnes, parallel for the Sharks. Just over halfway in our first box for break 184. Morgan Harper, Mary All-Stars. Cody Ramsey, Speed Series for the Warriors. How the hell did I pull Warriors from that one? Keon Colamatini for the Rabbits. Sapphire Mojo, a junior polo for the Eels, number 10. Nico Hines, Indigenous All-Stars. Jaden Sewer, parallel for the Dragons. Thought it was Arndo on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire for a second then. Speed Series, Nick Kotrick for the Raiders. Tommy Turbo, parallel for Manly. That would be a funny episode. Women's NRL Roosters checklist. You're watching the same thing, I'm guessing, Brian. Rocco Berry, White Young Guns for the Warriors. I haven't really watched it all since we've been doing this, and I just turned around and I was there. Parallel Joey Manu for the Roosters. And Xavier Coates, parallel for the Storm. And last packet for the first box. Speed Series, Bobby Law for the Knights. Cody Nicarima. Manly parallel checklist. Jordan Rapiner, Maori All-Stars. Speed Series, Xavier Savage. I think he played quite well for the Raiders. Nathan Cleary, parallel for Panthers. Women's NRL, Jamie Chapman for the Dragons. Dally M and James Fisher-Harris for the Panthers. Angus Crichton, parallel for the Roosters. So for those that are tuning in for break 184, because I did say around 5 o'clock, we are almost 1.5 boxes in. William Smith, Speed Series for the Storm. We have Junior Paulo White League Sensation in the first box. Yasmin Meeks, Women's NRL for the Roosters. Eels Parallel Checklist. Jesse Ramian, Speed Series for the Sharks. Blues Master Series. Ryan Pappenhausen, parallel for the Storm. Quincy Dodd, Indigenous All-Stars. Chanel Harris Tavita, parallel for the Warriors. William Kennedy, parallel for the Sharks. Ruby Mojo, Jordan Rapana for the Raiders. Oh, what am I doing? Naughty, naughty, number 33. No number, no sleeve. Speed Series, Bradman Best for the Knights. Selwyn Cobbo, Indigenous All-Stars. Latrell Mitchell, parallel for the Rabbits. Speed Series, Jason Saab for Manly. Avania Polite, Women's NRL for the Titans. AJ Brimson, parallel for the Titans. Women's NRL, Philomena Hennessy for the Eels. Adokar, parallel for the Bulldogs. Yellow Diamond, Zahara Tamara for the Roosters, number 43. White Young Guns, Luke Metcalf for the Sharks. And Cody Ramsey, parallel for the Dragons. 3 packets left in our second box for break 184. Payne Haas, Dally M for the Broncos. Luke Brooks, parallel for the Tigers. I thought I already hit one of these. No, must have been in the priority box for the last one. Anyway, number 17, a Junior Paulo, a white league sensation for the Eels. We got Shane Murtagh. Alright, last packet. Until Yvette, a Welsh Speed Series for the Eels. Alright, box number 3. Ruby Mojo. Number 44, Mikhail Ravalawa for the Dragons. Number 44. Dally M, Cody Walker for the Rabbits. Mitchell Moses, parallel for the Eels. Caitlin Johnston, Indigenous All-Stars. Tegan Berry, Women's NRL for the Dragons. Alex Johnston, parallel for the Rabbits. Dally M, Brian To'o for the Panthers. Speed Series, Anari Tawala for the Knights. And Titans Parallel Checklist. Master Series for the Roosters. Kamora Brealey Natty, Women's NRL for the Titans. Alex Twal, parallel for the Tigers. Serena Toka, Women's NRL for the Eels. Karina Brown, Speed Series for the Titans. John Rapiner, parallel for the Raiders. Tamika Upton, Indigenous All-Stars. Speed Series, a Blake Taff for the Rabbits. Jerome Luai, parallel for Panthers. Sapphire Mojo, Ryan Kelly for the Titans. Ooh, nice low one, number 2. White Young Guns, a James Schiller for the Raiders. Women's NRL, Olivia Koenig for the Roosters. Tyson Frizzell parallel for the Knights. James Fisher-Harris, Maori All-Stars. Speed Series, Addo Carr for the Bulldogs. Adam Reynolds, parallel for the Broncos. Karina Brown, yellow diamond mojo for the Titans, number 27. Sixth last packet in our third box. Jamie Chapman, Speed Series for the Dragons. Tavita Pangai Jr., parallel for the Bulldogs. Speed Series, Brian To'o for the Panthers. Chanel Harris Tavita, Maori All-Stars. Blake Brayley, parallel for the Sharks. Cowboys parallel checklist. Hey, that's what we didn't find in the other break. Was a captain's card. Number 70. Mr. Jaden Brayley and Kalen Ponga for the Knights. Number, I already said number 70. So, by all rights, there should be captain's card in one of them two boxes. Zach Lomax, parallel for the Dragons, to finish off box number 3. Alright, let's go. Break 186 is listed on the website. Another half case break with priority box. And break 185, for those wondering or unsure, is in our Facebook group only. Corbin Baxter, Maori All-Stars. Lucky Young Gun, Isaac Tago for the Panthers, number 7. Toby Rudolph, parallel for the Sharks. Oh. Women's NRL, Maddie Studden for the Eels, wrong one. Dally M, Alex Johnston for the Rabbitohs. Jai Arrow, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Reece Welsh, Speed Series for the Warriors. Nick Kotrick, parallel for the Raiders. Ronaldo Mulatalo, Dalian for the Sharks. Chad Townsend, parallel for the Cowboys. Speed Series, Matt Burton for the Bulldogs. Master Series for the Roosters. Brian Kelly, parallel for the Titans. Speed Series, Amber Hall for the Broncos. Brent Naden, Indigenous All-Stars. Moses Mbai, parallel for the Dragons. Halfway through, box number 4 for break 184. Ruby Mojo. Jared Riera Hargraves for the Roosters, number 43. Nico Hines, Indigenous All-Stars. Dylan Brown, parallel for the Eels. Women's NRL Knights Checklist. Mitchell Barnett, parallel for the Knights. Morgan Harper, Maori All-Stars. Daniel Tupou, a Speed Series for the Roosters. Thomas Flegler, parallel for the Broncos. Speed Series, Julia Robinson for the Broncos. Speed Series, Stafford Tower for the Tigers. Women's NRL, Variety Parker for the Roosters. Panthers parallel checklist. 4 packets left in box number 4 for break 184. 44-4-4. White Young Guns, Jada Ferguson for the Broncos. James Tamo, parallel for the Tigers. Philomena Hennessy, Yellow Diamond Mojo. What are we? Number 60 for the Eels. And our Sapphire Mojo, Mr. Thomas Flegler for the Broncos, number 6. Charlie Staines, a Speed Series for the Panthers. Luke Thompson, parallel for the Bulldogs. Another box down. This is our last box out of the case and is box number 5 for break 184. Lachlan Elias, White Young Guns for the Rabbits. Jordan Ricky, parallel for the Broncos. Speed Series, Alex Johnston for the Rabbitohs. Roosters parallel checklist. Speed Series, Nick Kotrick for the Raiders. Brian To'o parallel for the Panthers. Do remember, we do have the priority box left to go. Kangaroos Master Series. Indigenous All-Stars, Ruben Cotter. Tigers parallel checklist. Matt Duffy, parallel for the Bulldogs. Valentine Holmes, parallel for the Cowboys. Xavier Coates, Speed Series for the Storm. Jaden Campbell, Speed Series for the Titans. Women's NRL, Karina Brown for the Titans. Lachlan Croker, parallel for Manly. 2 packets away from being halfway in box number 5. Doing alright for time, I think. Kevin Proctor, Mary All-Stars for the Titans. Jazz Tavega, Mary All-Stars. Jack Whiten, parallel for the Raiders. Black League Sensations. Mr. Elliot Whitehead for the Raiders, number 18. Craig Baxter. Ruby Mojo, DCE for Manly. Number 34. Women's NRL, Rachel Pearson for the Dragons. Cameron Munster, parallel for the Storm. Murray Talagi, Speed Series for the Cowboys. And our second captain's card. Number 6. Mr. Luke Brooks and James Tamo. Number 6. Jason Mandrill with the Tigers. Women's NRL, Emily Bass for the Broncos. Clint Gufferson, parallel for the Eels. Dally M, Brendan Smith for the Storm. Jamie Chapman, Indigenous All-Stars. Reece Welsh, parallel for the Warriors. Cody Ramsey, Speed Series for the Dragons. Kalen Ponga, parallel for the Knights. Matt Burton, Dally M for Panthers. And another Emerald to finish us off. Number 7, Mr. Brent Naden for the Bulldogs. Adam Barber. Alright, we've got one more packet left. Box number 5 in break 184. Which is also the last packet from the case. Anita Nuasala, Women's NRL for the Knights. So last but not least, we have our priority box. Alright. Alright, here we go. Last box for tonight. And first up, White Young Gun, number 5, Bridie Parker for the Roosters. Brent Nichols. Ewan Aiken, parallel for the Warriors. Speed Series, Shanae Siasolka for the Broncos. Chanel Harris-Tavita, Maori All-Stars. Dave Clemmer, parallel for the Knights. Dally M, the big man for the Broncos, Mr. Payne Huss, number 51, Mr. DK, welcome mate, welcome. Broncos, a parallel checklist. Tegan Berry, Women's NRL for the Dragons. Reece Robson, parallel for the Cowboys. Second Dally M, Mr. James Fisher for the Panthers. Number 51. Speed Series, Greg Marshall for the Titans. Hudson Young, parallel for the Raiders. Ruby Mojo, Reece Robson for the Cowboys, number 21. Fittler in the Kangaroos. Tamika Upton, Indigenous All-Stars. Regan Campbell-Gillard, parallel for the Eels. Serena Natokatoka, Women's NRL for the Eels. And Jaden Sewer, parallel for the Dragons. Speed Series, Tiana Penatoni for the Eels. Tommy Turbo, parallel for Manly. White League Sensations, number 9, Ruben Garrick for Manly. Jamie Chapman, a Speed Series for the Dragons. Cows Panthers Grand Final. You're not planning on coming around anymore, mate. That's blasphemy. Olivia Koenig, Women's NRL for the Roosters. Keon Kolomatangi, parallel for the Rabbits. It's not very nice, them fighting words, TK. Mr. Damien Cook, Sapphire Mojo for the Rabbits. Number 6. Caitlin Johnston, Indigenous All-Stars. Joey Manu, parallel for the Roosters. James Fisher-Harris, Mary All-Stars. Yeah, mate, I don't disagree with you, to be honest, but I've got to have hope. Jamie Chapman, Yellow Diamond Mojo for the Dragons, number 35. I will be shocked if we win the grand final. I believe we have a good chance to be there, though. We'll have to wait and see. James Tedesco, Speed Series for the Roosters. Second last packet for tonight's breaks, all up. Kamora Brearley Natty, Women's NRL for the Titans. Xavier Coates, parallel for the Storm. And last but not least, drumroll, an Ari Tuala, Speed Series for the Knight, and Isaac Liu, parallel for the Titans. So we do have our 6 Master Series cards. We've got a double up in the Kangaroos. So we will change screens. Don't forget, guys, break 186 is on the website. 182, last I checked, still had 2 spots available on the website, plus the Raz spot in the Facebook group. And yeah, let's go. Number 1, number 2, and lucky last, number 3. Lachlan Host with the Broncos, taking home the 6 Master Series cards. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for our first half case breaks for 22 Elite. And